Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Progress with number 9 in the series Endgame compositions. I found another 3 beautiful compositions for you and I hope you will enjoy them too. They are full of twists and turns and this is the first one. It's composed by the French Endgame composer Henri Renck and it was published in 1927. It's white to play and draw this position. It's all about this pawn. If white can win that pawn, then there's a theoretical draw of bishop and knight versus a bishop. So the first move is logical, king f6, threatening to take the pawn. Black's first move is also logical. He really has only one move to defend the pawn, keep the pawn, bishop d3. Then white plays king g5. Attacking the knight, winning that knight will also do, then white can give his bishop for the pawn and then it's also a draw. And if the knight goes to f5, then you can take the pawn, so that's not good for black. And you cannot go to these squares because the bishop is controlling them. So all you can do is play knight g4. And then white has bishop d5 check as his next move. The king has to keep protecting the knight, so king g3 is the only move. And now we have a beautiful finish of this study. White can draw on the spot with bishop. Do you see it? Bishop e4. What is that? Well, what it is that if you take the bishop, then we have a stalemate on the board. The white king has no moves. Beautifully constructed stalemate. After bishop e4 there is really no other option. If you play the bishop away, then that pawn goes off the board and we have this theoretical draw. Beautiful composition, Henri Renck, 1927. Let's go to the second one. This composition is from the great Russian Alexei Trotsky, the most famous endgame composer the world has ever seen. It's white to play and win in this position, and it is all about this pawn. If white can promote that pawn and keep it alive, then white can win. That's the only way. e6 is the first move. That makes a lot of sense. On the way to the promotion square, and it looks totally hopeless for black. He cannot stop the pawn. It's nicely supported by the bishop. But black has a stalemate trick. And for this, he has to first give away his bishop. So bishop f6 is the first move. Now white has to take the bishop, otherwise black is controlling the pawn. And then knight f4. What good does that do? Well, if you now push e7, then black has a draw because of knight d5 threatening the pawn, so you have to promote it, and then knight c7 check with one of these famous knight forks. King b7, knight takes e8 and the game is a draw. So after knight f4, white has to come up with something else. It has to be something good because black is of course threatening to take the pawn. Bishop d8 check is the move. Because after king a6, then white plays e7. And what's important now is that white is controlling that c7 square where the knight gave that fork. So bishop d8 check was a very good move. e7, knight d5 anyway. And you still have to be careful, because if you now promote to a queen and you think you're winning, then knight c7 check comes anyway with that fork. Yes, you're controlling the c7 square, so you play bishop takes f7, c7, and then suddenly you find that the game is a draw because of stalemate. Very nice stalemate. The bishop taking these squares away and the queen taking these squares away. So, what can we do? We have just played e7 and then knight d5. We cannot promote to a queen, but white can still win but he has to underpromote to a rook, because if now knight c7 comes, then you can just take it, and there is no stalemate because the king has squares to go to. And this is a winning position for white. He just has an extra rook and will win this game. Very nice, very beautiful stalemate trick. Alexei Troitsky, published in 1916. Let's go to the last one. The composer of this position is Birnov. It was published in 1933, and it's white to play and win. White has lots of pawns, black has an extra piece. These two pawns look very dangerous. So what can white do? The first move is very obvious again. We play d7 on the way to promotion, and bishop f6 is the only way to control that pawn. Then we push the other one, but then black has knight b4. And the threat is knight c6, controlling the promotion square, while this bishop controls that promotion square. Well, white can now gain control back of the long diagonal by promoting to queen. Then the bishop has to take, and white plays bishop d4. And now we're going to play h7 and h8, and we're going to win this game easily. But black still has a trick up his sleeve. Knight d3 check, king f3, and knight f4. What good is that? Well, it lures the king to f4. You have to take the knight because the knight threatens to go to g6 to control the promotion square. So king takes f4 is forced, and then bishop g5 check. It's incredible how rich our game is. Even in hopeless positions there is often still a trick, something to play for. Because this is a fork, it's check, and this pawn will go off the board. King f5, bishop takes h6. It looks like black is very close to a draw, but suddenly, and very surprisingly, yes, I said, how rich is our game? Well, look, suddenly there's a mate in 2 on the board, out of thin air. Bishop f2 check, king h5, and g2 to g4 is checkmate. Wonderful. Beautiful composition, Birnov, 1933. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't enjoy this, you don't really enjoy chess very much. If you like these compositions, please give the video a thumbs up and please subscribe to the Chess2 Progress channel. Please leave a comment, I will read them all and I will reply. You also may want to check my Chess2 Impress channel. The link is in the description box. I'm currently doing daily videos on Norway Chess 2018. This is Rick for Chess2 Progress. Thank you for watching.